In Skyrim, Meridia's champions fight for good. This is the story of Cassie. Need something?
Oh, such colors.
Huh?
Is there?
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
Yes.
No Mareen?
Kodlak was a kind leader, and he loved you and the companions as if they were his children.
What is it?
My hero should not be afraid to shed a tear in his honor.
No Mareen.
Well, aren't you sweet and attentive? Well, aren't you sweet and attentive?
Okay. Mareen. Skyhaven. I forgot about that. Gotta go and see.
I'm
Adventure
ready
is
for
waiting
whatever
just
comes
around
next.
the corner. Which corner? All of them.
Go and see Akuma, her father.
Mareen, I have something I want to give you.
If you think trinkets will make me forgive you any faster, you're wrong, Pop.
Oh, this is no mere trinket, I assure you. This is a special blade, rumored to have been forged by the dragons in the north.
An old sword? Well, what's that? It glows. Magic?
Yes, it's laced with a special fire enchantment, powered by the Daedric Prince Boethia.
Boethia! You've been making deals with Daedra? I'll have nothing to do with them. Daedra always got a price. Dangerous to be friends with him.
As long as power is tempered with caution, you need not fear the goddess. This blade was given to me in the Third Era by the champion of Cyrodiil.
You knew the champion?
Indeed, we fought together against Mehrunes Dagon in the final confrontation. In gratitude for my service, I was bequeathed the sword. I present to you Goldbrand.
I don't use swords much anymore. Not since you left. Now I use the bow. The smaller blades. Daggers.
Your arm will remember its strength once you wield it. I know.
What about Boethia, eh? She wouldn't object. I'm a thief now, not a warrior. Not anymore.
Believe me, if Boethia objected, either to the champion passing it to me, or me to you, she would make it very clear.
Alright, I'll take it. Dragonborn?
Okay. Combat. I'm gonna change your combat style.
Yes?
Use the blade.
Alright.
Okay.
As you like, Dragonborn.
Oh,
Yes? Yes? Eyes on the hunt.
Need to get it a dual wield. Okay, so
We heard the news from Whiterun that you left the city on the back of a dragon. That's a little showy, even for you. Since you're still alive, I assume you have good news to report.
Yes. I used Eldrin's portal to travel to Sovngarde. He's dead.
Gods above, that's better news than I had hoped. When you walked into my inn that day, I never imagined where it would all lead. Dragons out of legend. Sovngarde.
Yeah. About Parthenax.
Make your choice, Dragonborn. You're either with us or against us.
Why does he need to die?
Here's the big picture. He helped Alduin enslave our ancestors. He may have betrayed Alduin in the end, but that makes him worse, not better. We can't afford to give Parthenax the opportunity to betray us in turn and return to his old master.
Oh, okay.
Just as the prophecy said. I knew. Thank you, Dragonborn. Great service.
Esbern's talking?
There's still the matter of Parthenax. I'm not ungrateful for what you've done. Esbern speaks for both of us. But our oath as blades binds us.
I see Delphine wasn't kidding when she said this place needed tidying up. That's what happens when you leave a home to dust and age. Although I think most of this mess can't be more than a week old.
Just as Parthenax's later deeds do not
Good
expiate
day.
his crime.
Or is it good night?
Your deeds do
My
not allow
internal
us to ignore our duty. I hope you will return to us soon with the news that justice has finally been done. With both Alduin and Parthenax dead, the dark chapter in history will finally be closed.
So, this is where the ancient guardians of the Emperor lived. I think it's seen some better days.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mareen has Goldbrand now. I'll have to get that improved by, Yorland.
Yes? What's on your mind?
You'll regret tangling with me. It's taken flight. Raise your shield if you have one. Advance, have mercy.
To believe in the light. Raise your hands into the sky. The fight is
Okay. Wait a minute. Where are we? Outside he doesn't get put on the map.
Toward the sun. Toward the sun.
The achievements have been enabled somehow.
Good. The rain will wash away our tracks. Makes it harder for people
Even
to
though I've
follow
got
us.
mods on.
Blue skies, friend. Yes?
I don't know why some... Wait a minute, she's supposed to be dual wielding.
By your leave, Dragonborn.
Yeah, she is. We don't have the dual sheath patch for it though. Okay. Zoras taking a look at the view. Okay, I'll have to change or dismiss a couple of followers.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Every day I fight with a chip on my shoulder. Every time I see a guard wearing the uniform, I remember how they said I wasn't good enough to wear it.
Still here.
What happened to your sister?
Well, my sister doesn't come to Riverwood very often. But she sends a letter every now and then, just to let me know she's alive. She can take care of herself, but that does not mean I don't worry.
I'd like to meet her.
Does she? My hero, you have not been listening to me, or you would remember that my sister isn't a friendly sort. That's why she lives in a cave. She's kind of a witch.
I like witches.
Oh, good. And here I thought this conversation was going to be awkward. Well, now it's awkward for another reason. Not all witches are good witches. Actually, I think my sister is the only one. Funny how that works out.
When did you last speak to her?
2 years. 3? I'm very poor with time. Especially when I'm adventuring with my favorite companion. As for her last letter, well, that has also been a very long time. Too long, which makes me worry. We should stop by the Sleeping Giant Inn. Maybe someone has heard something.
Maybe. Okay. Children fair. Okay.
Yes? Ready to move?
Dragonborn. alright?
I'm right here.
Okay, I think I'm gonna dismiss Sigrid.
We've stopped. What is it?
Were you always an awkward fighter?
Of course. Bathilde liked to say when I came out of the womb I looked like a spider, all knees and elbows. I was a gangly child. My arms and legs seemed in a hurry to grow and left the rest of my body behind. It didn't help that I was shy. The village children were merciless. Tikri the awkward, they used to chant, like it was some nursery rhyme.
Children can be cruel.
Yes, but there was one child in particular, Jorn, who took things a step further. He used to climb on the rooftops and hurl stones at me. When I complained to the adults, they almost did the same. Jorn was a sweet, innocent boy, they said.
No one believed you.
Not even my sister came to my defense. Only one person ever did. Her name was Saline.
Selene.
She was slick, clever, mischievous, and mysterious. Her family hailed from elsewhere, and she smelled of sand and blood. When Jorn first met her, I think his jaw would have hit the floor if she hadn't thrust it up his nose. She didn't buy his sweet boy act for a second.
Okay.
Oh, that. I was trying on war paint the other day. You know, just to see how it looked. It just happened to be the sunniest day of the year. In any case, I didn't like the paint. But when I took it off, well, if you're going to laugh, go ahead. But I didn't do it on purpose.
Okay. You got... Okay.
We used to clean out the barracks and hold sparring matches. Tourneys. Put half a week's wages in a pot. Winner takes all. We'd knock each other around with practice swords until our bellies were as lumpy as a toad. I won more than my share, of lumps and gold.
You and Selene must have been fast friends.
We spent every minute together. Her father was grooming her to be a warrior, and she'd often share the lessons she'd learned. We met at night and practiced by the lighthouse fire. She taught me how to hold a weapon, how to strike with it, and how to defend. If I learned to protect myself, she said, bullies like Jorn could never get away with hurting me again. But if I wanted to get better, I needed to spar. And to spar, I first needed a weapon of my own. So one night I borrowed a blade from the smith's workbench. I was running up the lighthouse steps to show Saline when I slipped on a patch of ice. It slid out of my hand, off the ledge, and into the bed of snow below. Saline told me not to panic, even though I was already starting to. We ran down to the shoreline and combed the area. From down below, the fire from the lighthouse was dim, but bright enough to reflect any stray metal lying in that pillow of white.
Did you find it?
Yes. In fact, it only took me a few minutes to find the sword standing straight up in the snow. I called to Saline, but she didn't answer. She was staring at something. A dark surface wedged in the rock. I ran over and tugged at her shoulder, holding up the hilt to her eyes. She never turned her gaze, and that's when I looked at the rock once more and saw the door. A black one, painted with skulls and bones, and it spoke. I was mortified. I couldn't even breathe. I backed up, tripped, and fell on my bottom, clutching my blade like a doll. Saline didn't flinch. It asked her a question. Saline talked back to it, but the door didn't like her answers. Then she repeated the question to me. What was life's greatest illusion? For some reason, my thoughts turned to Jorn. I said something. I can't recall what. But the door opened and she went in. Saline used to say that someday I'd surpass her as a fighter. That I fought so awkwardly, my movements were unpredictable. But that night, at that moment, I wasn't that person I was going to be. I was who I was, and that person was weak. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. Saline told me to wait outside, and I was more than happy to. Celine used to love watching the guards spar. Her dream was to one day join them, to become a housecarl and serve as the Jarl's right hand. She was always thinking about others, trying to shield us all from harm. She was strong, gallant, and honorable. She was my friend. And it burns me every single day that I couldn't be the same for her.
Do you blame yourself for what happened?
Yes, I blame myself. And I always will. Not for opening that door, but for lacking the courage to follow her inside it. So I swore to myself that I would become the person Celine always thought I could be, and achieve the goals she always wanted for herself. My body is the vessel for both our spirits, one chasing a dream, and the other vowing to never let a friend chase it alone.
Okay.
To the next fight.
Maybe I won't dismiss Tikrid. I think Emily.
Do you need something? Items? Potions? Hugs? I've got it all.
We need to split up for a while.
Yes, onward. Only in separate directions. I guess what I'm saying is, safe travels, friend.
She can't get past the horses. It's a roadblock. I don't know. Maybe we should go to Riverwood.
Good Lord, didn't anybody here subscribe?